Okay, so then I have another question about advice for people who are listening. First, take a step back from just being able to ship on a certain date and hit those deadlines. Like, you've trained many PMs in your career. What's the biggest piece of advice that you give to new PMs that you work with?
Yeah, mostly it's very liberal arts related stuff, not the technical part. So read more than anyone you know.
Okay.
And I have some tips on what to read, but just read about business, read about the industry you're in. Just do whatever you can to just learn as much as you can. Just communicate with everyone. Just spend a lot of time understanding your peers, your coworkers, the key stakeholders. And then, even if your company is not customer centric, which a lot of companies aren't, quite frankly.
Yep.
Talk to more customers than anyone in the company. So it's like read so you learn from people who made mistakes before you. Make relationships with all your peers because you're going to need them someday.
Right.
To help you either in whatever. In either getting a new product out the market or maybe on a sales deal, they might need you to help out. And then, talk to your customers. I mean, there's nothing that stops a conversation faster than when, let's say, a senior executive is saying, we got to work on X. And you're like, oh, it's interesting because, I just talked to so-and-so and so-and-so from our two biggest customers, and they don't want that. They want Y.
Right.
And it's like, oh, geez, you win the battle every single time, right?
Right.
So
True.
Talk to customers.
So similar to that, but on the flip side, if you are not in product, but you are in sales or marketing or ops or something else, and you have that feature, you've been talking to customers or you have an insight, what's your advice to them on how to get their features built? How do you approach a product team?
Yeah, this is something I actually gave a presentation to the whole LogMeIn and product and engineering team about how to get your idea shipped.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I'll share that with you. But it was the first thing to do, and this was an engineer who's I have an idea, and we have 500 engineers. And we're how do I get anyone to care about this to ship it? And the first thing is understand the strategy. If you as an engineer or a designer or just an individual contributor understand the overall business strategy, how that translates into product strategy, and let's say I'm on a team that rolls up to you, and I know the 3 things that Maggie cares about, I know Maggie has to drive this metric, then I'm going to align my idea to her metric.
Right.
And I talked about tracer bullets. Show that it can happen, right? I mean, if you're an engineer, the version of that for sales and marketing, which happens all the time here, is give me customer evidence, right?
Yeah.
And I think the best type of customer evidence is getting the product person on the phone with the customer or on a Zoom call or...
And no product person would usually say no to that.
No, they would almost...
Right.
Yeah, because every product person has an insecurity of, am I talking to enough customers?
Right.
So when everybody's like, hey, can you jump on the phone with a customer? Whew, yes, I feel better about my day if I do that. So it just happened yesterday. We were talking. We have a pretty big customer who's been super successful on Drift, had a couple nags in the product, and there's all these Slack messages running around about it, and they're hitting up you and me and a few other people.
Yep.
And then yesterday I got on a 20-minute call with them finally after a week, and I was like, oh yeah, we can fix these things. And it's bing, bing, let's get it done, right? It's because I felt I was more empathetic, I felt the pain, and I was able to do it.